Hello and welcome to the English Eve podcast, where English meets real life. I'm Sophia. I hope you're having a calm, focused day, and if not, that's okay too. Today's episode is all about something we all struggle with, building strong learning habits, especially when life gets busy or motivation disappears. We often think, if I just had more time, I could finally learn English well. But what if I told you that time isn't the problem? Joining me today is Jason, who once believed he needed perfect conditions to study: quiet time, fresh coffee, a new notebook, and a detailed plan. But what he discovered was very different.
Yeah, I thought I needed a full schedule and all this motivation. I would get excited, make these huge plans, 2 hours a day, new textbooks, grammar videos, vocabulary lists. But then life happened.
Right? That's so real. And when the plan breaks once, you skip a day, you're tired, you feel like you failed.
Exactly. And then I'd think, well, I messed up. I'll restart next week. But next week never came. I failed like that over and over.
So, what changed?
I stopped chasing motivation. I stopped making big plans. One day I was walking to work, maybe 12 minutes, and I thought, I'll just listen to an English story while walking, no pressure. And I did that again the next day, and again. That became my tiny ritual.
A ritual. I love that word. Not a task or a goal, but something you gently return to. Listeners, this is the heart of today's episode. Small, daily repetition builds more than motivation ever will. We're not talking about magic. We're talking about science. Research shows that the brain loves repetition, especially in short bursts. A study by psychologist B.J. Fogg at Stanford explains that tiny habits, small actions connected to something you already do, can create big change over time, just like brushing your teeth.
That was my mistake for years. I believed I had to feel ready or study for hours. I never thought 10 minutes a day could do much.
But that's the myth, isn't it? That learning requires more time, when really it needs better rhythm. What Jason did is something called habit stacking. He connected English practice to something he already did, walking. And because of that, he never had to remember or feel inspired. It just became part of his day.
I started using other tiny moments too. When I brushed my teeth, I repeated a sentence in English, just one. When I cooked dinner, I asked myself, what are 3 new words I remember today? It felt silly at first, but slowly it stuck.
And here's what's amazing. Those 5-minute moments, they added up. Listeners, let me ask you, do you open social media while waiting in line? Do you hum a song in the shower? Do you walk your dog, commute? All of those are micro moments. What if one of them became your English time?
And once that habit feels natural, it doesn't need willpower anymore. You just do it, even on bad days.
That's the power of rhythm, not force, not big energy, just steady movement. And this isn't about being perfect. You don't need to do it at the same time or the same way every day. You just need to show up somewhere in your day, every day.
Right. I still mess up sometimes. I miss a day. But I don't quit anymore. I just keep going.
It reminds me of a quote I love by James Clear, author of Atomic Habits. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Big dreams don't make you fluent, but tiny systems, brushing your teeth in English, walking with a podcast, they do.
I used to think success meant doing more. Now I know it just means showing up, again and again.
And that's today's insight. The strongest learners aren't the most motivated. They're the most consistent. Coming up in the next chapter, we'll look at how you can build your own routine no matter your schedule or energy, And we'll explore some creative examples from other learners around the world. So we now know that small daily routines are the secret to long-term success. But the question is, how do we build them, especially when we already feel too busy, too tired, or just not in the mood? Today, we'll explore 3 strategies you can try, and they don't require more time, just smarter use of it.
And the first one is simple. Attach English to something you already do. That's how my routine started, walking with a podcast.
This is called habit anchoring. Think of your day like a chain. Every chain link is a small habit: showering, eating, commuting. You don't break those chains because they're automatic. So why not attach a tiny English activity to them? After I brush my teeth, I say one English sentence. After I start my morning coffee, I open my English app. Before I go to sleep, I write 3 new words in my journal.
You don't need a classroom or a textbook. You just need a trigger, a daily action to remind you. That's the magic.
Here's another idea that helped me. Make your habit too easy to skip. Start so small it feels almost silly. 1 sentence of shadowing, 30 seconds of listening, reading just 1 word out loud.
That's how I rebuilt my confidence. I told myself, just 2 minutes today. And sometimes I did more, but even when I didn't, I still won. I still showed up.
That's important. A short win is still a real win. Let me share a story here. One of our listeners, Amelia from Germany, sent us a message last month. She used to feel guilty for not doing enough. She said she couldn't focus after work, her brain felt heavy, and she just kept restarting her plan. But one day, she decided to just read her phone's weather report in English. That was it, every day. And guess what? It became her ritual. She even started repeating it aloud to her cat. And soon, her brain got used to English mode at that time.
That's what people don't see. It's not about how much you do, it's about how often you do it. Even 1 brick a day builds a house, if you keep laying bricks.
Yes. And the final strategy we'll share today is make it visible. Don't let your habit hide in your head. Use reminders, use trackers, use visuals. Stick a post-it on your mirror, English for 2 minutes. Keep your notebook on your pillow. Change your phone language once a week. Make English part of your environment.
I did something funny with this. I put a tiny flag sticker on my water bottle. It just said EN. Every time I drink water, it reminded me, hey, have you practiced yet?
That's smart. You made it part of your life. Listeners, think about this. If your goal is invisible, your brain will ignore it. But if it's in your space, it stays alive. And for those who feel tired or discouraged, remember, this is not about pressure. It's about presence.
Yeah. You don't need to be perfect, just a present. That's how I turned from a starter to a finisher.
Let's say this clearly. Success in English is not for the most talented. It's for the most gentle and consistent learners. That's you, if you want it to be. So far, we've talked about how to create strong English habits. But let's be honest, life doesn't always follow your plan. You get sick, you travel, you feel low. The day just slips away. So what happens when your routine breaks?
For me, this was the hardest part. Every time I missed a day, I thought, that's it, I failed again. And I would stop for a week, or a month, or longer.
Yes, that's what many of us do. We think consistency means never missing a day. But that's not true. Consistency means come back, try again, don't quit.
Once I accepted that missing a day wasn't a failure, I started to feel lighter. I told myself life is not perfect, but I can still be consistent in an imperfect way.
Beautiful. I want our listeners to remember something today. Success is not in never falling, but in rising every time you fall. That's from Nelson Mandela, and it applies perfectly here. You don't need a perfect streak, you need a kind mindset.
Sometimes I'd restart with just 1 sentence. I'd be tired on the bus home, and I'd whisper a sentence from a podcast. That tiny act said, I'm still here. I didn't give up.
That's more powerful than any long study session. Let's give listeners a few tools for bouncing back. Plan something so small and gentle, you can do it even when tired. Instead of reading 3 pages, read 1 sentence. Instead of watching a video, listen to the first 60 seconds. Instead of reviewing 10 words, think of your favorite one from the week.
My bad day plan is simple. I just say one thing I'm grateful for in English. Even just, I'm thankful for today's rain. It keeps the habit alive.
Tool 2. Use habit rescuers. These are reminders or rewards that help you restart after a break. You can write, missed a day? No problem, I'm back. Or set a reminder that says, try again. 30 seconds is enough. You can also use rewards. For example, after I do my 5 minutes of English, I make a nice cup of tea. After I finish shadowing, I play a favorite song.
That made a big difference for me. I stopped punishing myself and started celebrating small wins.
Tool 3. Tell someone you trust. When we feel stuck, we often feel alone. But when you say, hey, I haven't studied this week, but I want to try again, it creates connection, not shame. That's why podcasts like this exist. You're not alone in this journey.
And it doesn't need to be a teacher. It can be a friend, your sibling, or even a journal. I used to write, Day 1 again, that's okay. And just writing it helped me breathe.
That's powerful. Writing gives your habit a voice, and a voice means life. Listeners, remember this. The goal is not perfection. The goal is return. There will be days when you don't feel motivated, when your energy is low or your mood is heavy. On those days, just return. Return to your sentence, your habit, your voice.
Even whispering one line is enough. That whisper can become a rhythm. That rhythm becomes fluency.
We've reached the heart of the episode. You've learned how habits are built, how they can survive busy days, and how to restart after falling off. But one question still remains.
How long before your English feels stronger, smoother, more natural? I used to ask that all the time. How many months? When will I be fluent? And I always felt impatient, like I was walking but not arriving.
That's the trap. We expect fast results from a slow process. Here's the truth. Your brain doesn't grow in straight lines. It grows in waves. You may feel stuck for weeks, and then suddenly, you hear yourself say something you couldn't say before. It surprises you, and that's the moment all the quiet effort becomes visible.
That happened to me after about 6 months. I was ordering coffee, and I said, "Could I get that to go, please?" It just came out, naturally, and I thought, wait, did I just say that?
I love that. A small moment, but huge inside. That's the emotional reward of consistent habits. They don't shout, they whisper, until one day you realize your English has changed. Let's talk about science for a moment. Studies from University College London show that it takes about 66 days to build a new habit, not 21, as many believe. And during that time, the brain is rewiring. But that rewiring is quiet. You don't feel it every day.
And that's why most people quit around day 20 or 30. They think nothing's happening, but something is. They just can't see it yet.
Exactly. That's why we say, trust the process, even when progress is invisible. Let's be real. There will be boring days. You'll repeat the same sentence. You'll forget words. You'll feel tired. But the question is, can you show up anyway? Because when you do, you're building something bigger than vocabulary. You're building identity. You're becoming someone who learns, who practices, who doesn't give up.
Yeah, I stopped asking, am I fluent yet? And started asking, did I keep my promise today? That changed everything.
Beautiful. That's the final idea we want to leave with our listeners. Success is not about being the best. It's about becoming the kind of person who doesn't stop. So even if your English today feels basic, even if you still hesitate or make mistakes, you are already growing. One sentence, one ritual, one moment at a time.
If I could go back and talk to my past self, the one who kept quitting, I'd say, don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for the perfect time. Just start. Stay small, but stay.
And for all our listeners, here's your gentle reminder. The best learners are not the fastest. They're the kindest to themselves. Take a deep breath. Think of one small action you can take today. Then do it. And tomorrow, I will return again. Let's look at some of the useful expressions and idioms we used in today's episode. These will help you better understand and use natural English in your daily life. We'll start with the idioms, then move to vocabulary. Idioms 5. 1. Show up means to be present and take action even if you don't feel ready. Example 1. Even when I'm tired, I try to show up for my English practice. Example 2. You don't have to be perfect, just show up every day. 2. Fall off a habit, to stop doing a routine or habit for a while. Example 1. I fell off my study routine during vacation, but I started again. Example 2. It's okay to fall off sometimes, just come back. 3. Bounce back, to recover and return after a difficulty or break. Example 1. Even after missing a week, Jason managed to bounce back quickly. Example 2. Good learners learn how to bounce back, not just stay perfect. 4. Trust the process, to keep going even when you don't see immediate results. Example 1. You may not feel fluent yet, but trust the process. Progress is happening. Example 2. When I doubted myself, I had to trust the process and keep moving. 5. Fall to the level of your systems. Taken from James Clear's book Atomic Habits. It means that success comes from your systems, not your goals. Example 1. You don't rise to your dreams, you fall to the level of your systems. Example 2. That quote helped me build better routines. I focused on systems, not big goals. Vocabulary 7. 1. Ritual. A small, repeated action done regularly, often with meaning. Example 1. Listening to English while walking became my daily ritual. Example 2. I started a bedtime ritual of repeating new words before sleep. 2. Trigger. A cue or signal that reminds you to do something. Example 1. Brushing my teeth became the trigger to practice one English sentence. Example 2. Find a strong trigger in your daily life to connect your habit to. 3. Invisible. Something you don't see but it's still happening. Example 1. Progress can feel invisible, but it's still there. Example 2. Even when you don't notice, your brain is making invisible connections. Rewire. To change how the brain works or thinks, usually through learning or habits. Example 1. After weeks of repetition, your brain begins to rewire naturally. Example 2. English habits slowly rewire your thinking patterns. 5. Identity. How you see yourself or who you believe you are. Example 1. I started to feel like a real learner. It became part of my identity. Example 2. Your habits build your identity over time. 6. Anchor. To connect something new to something stable or existing. Example 1. I anchored my English time to my morning coffee routine. Example 2. Good learners anchor habits to their daily rhythm. 7. Mindset. Your attitude or mental approach toward something. Example 1. Consistency is more about your mindset than your schedule. Example 2. Changing my mindset helped me enjoy learning again. Thank you so much for joining us today, and a big thank you to our guest for sharing such a simple, honest reminder that growth doesn't have to be fast to be real. If there's one thing to carry with you, it's this: what you do every day matters more than what you do once in a while. Maybe today is a good time to pause, take a moment. Ask yourself, what's one small thing I could do every day that helps me move forward, even just a little? We'd love to hear your thoughts. You can journal it, leave a comment, or just reflect quietly. If this episode was meaningful to you, please subscribe. And let me know what you'd love to hear next. See you in the next story, where we'll keep learning one quiet habit at a time.